Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to discuss the most haunted places in Australia. Number 1. Port Arthur, Tasmania. Built in 1830 as a timber station, Port Arthur is a World Heritage Site with a long history. The place was a convict colony. Convicts lived under unbearable conditions and were forced to hard manual labor. Many died under horrifying circumstances, leaving their spirits behind as people acclaims. There was a huge massacre occurred in 1996 in Port Arthur. A gunman named Martin Bryant killed 35 people and wounded 23 others. According to report, this is one of the worst mass shootings in the history of Australia. The report also suggested strange happening inside the house of Reverend George Eastman. People have witnessed several spirits, heard the sound of slamming doors, footsteps, and sudden appearance and disappearance of lights at random places and time. Number 2. Radial Lunatic Asylum, Victoria. Built in 1860, Radial Lunatic Asylum has a history of 130 years where around 13,000 patients have passed away, tagging this place as haunted. There are tales around people witnessing the presence of the ghost of old Margaret, once held in asylum and tossed out in 1998. People claim to see her wandering in and out the halls of asylum. There are also certain weird claims of people being oddly touched by cold hands while making way through the men's surgery wing of the asylum. There are reports which suggest swishing of cold winds through the asylum blocks as well as noise of people screaming here and there. Number 3. Princess Theatre, Melbourne, Victoria. In March 1888, the baritone Frederick was performing a scene from Frost, where he had a sudden heart attack and died. It said his phantom still haunts the opera, and for many years a seat was reserved for him in a third row of the dress circle. Touching but creepy. Number 4. Fremantle Art Centre. Before this, 150-year-old building was Fremantle's home of live music and weekend afternoons. It was the local insane asylum. It's believed to be one of the Southern Hemisphere's most attractive haunted places. Visitors have reported all the spooky hallmarks of the haunted house: cold spots, ghostly touches, moving lights, and generally strange feelings. Ghost hunters investigated it recently and heard creepy voices saying creepy things like, "Those are chains," and "It's not cold." Creepy. Number 5. National Film and Sound Archive. Australia's audiovisual archive does not sound too spooky, but the building it occupies had a blood-stained history before the film reels and radio tapes moved in 34 years ago. This Canberra icon housed the Australian Institute of Anatomy before 1984, meaning the building collected and stored thousands of body parts, including a stash of human skulls in a downstairs area that today reports high level of paranormal activities. Number 6. Devil's Pool. The legend goes that a runaway bride named Olana leapt to her death in this sacred indigenous site when she was barred from marrying her one true love. Her curse on the spooky named Devil's Pools, also known as Babinda Boulders in tropical North Queensland, has lingered ever since. Olana is said to have lured 17 men to a watery grave in the past half century, remembered with the airy epitaph, "He came for a visit and stayed forever." Number 7. Gladesville Mental Hospital. Perched on the empty, named Bedlam Point and rather unkindly known as a Turban Creek Lunatic Asylum in its early days, Sydney's very first psychiatric hospital only shut down as recently as 1997, closing the book on 159 years of sadistic mistreatment. The Gladesville Mental Hospital is abandoned these days and caked in a layer of graffiti, but still contains the soul of thousand anonymous patients who died here. Number 8. Old Melbourne Jewel. More than 100 hangings took place within the walls of Old Melbourne Jewel between 1863 and 1924. The most famous, legendary Australian bushranger Ned Kelly, whose skull was even displayed in a museum until it was stolen 40 years ago. The attraction now hosts a number of spooky tours, including the Hangsman Night Tour and Ghost. What Ghost? Giving visitors all the gory details of the prison's grim past. Number 9. Moncrieff Homestead. Introducing the place that claims to be the most haunted house in Australia, the two-story Victorian manor was built by pioneer Christopher William Crawley in a New South Wales town of June in 1885. Before his homestead became riddled with death, a stable boy burned to death, a baby girl thrown down the stairs, a maid lobbed off a balcony, and a caretaker shot dead, among others. Pictures of a creepy Crawleys still hangs on the wall today, and the current owner are happy to take visitors on candlelit tour of the spine-chilling property. Number 10. Dreamworld. One of the Australian favorite amusement park is also one of the country's most haunted places. Production staff on a Big Brother reality TV show reported witnessing the voice and visage of a young girl when filming the program at Dreams World. And employees of a Gold Coast theme park have also cited the ghost dub Jack Dark, a 19th century gold prospector slain by a buzzsaw nearby. Thanks for watching the video and do not forget to share, like and subscribe.